Bant Spirits and 2 copies of Is It Phoenix on the other side.
You can see the hack-on side
they
already
know.
laughing.
They already know the joke. This Gifts deck has we'll just name the cards as they play them. That's what we're going to watch. It's going to be Mark Larson and Pete Ingram.
Jessup, Ingram, and Skarren, they aren't slouches, so they think this feature match is for them. They don't know. They don't know what's coming. Not that they aren't deserving, right? They've had their share of camera time, but we're here for the Knights.
All right, so Mark winning the die roll starts on Marsh Flats into Overgrown Tomb into Birds of Paradise.
The old Devoted Druid combo, right? This is kind of what you're thinking.
That's what you think?
Spot.
Yeah, it looks like the Devoted Druid deck.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I buy that. This is, normal playing for day 2 things.
If I'm playing Is It Phoenix, I'm happy to see this matchup.
Yeah, they just play a bunch of creatures, and you kill them, and then you kill them.
Right. So Mark's deck is 4 Birds of Paradise, 4 Gifts Ungiven, and the rest of the deck is Highlander.
Okay.
I guess he's doubled up on some fetch lands. I have to apologize.
All right, so
that's it.
What if we just read this deck list like we're trying to sing along to End of the World as we know it by REM?
Well, you'd get to the end by about the end of the round.
Yeah, I can't do it. I want to. In my head, I prepared myself with the rhythm.
Gut Shot from Frank takes care of Birds of Paradise. Finds that off Serum Visions.
And to think, we thought they read the metagame.
And we'll see Duress from Mark. Remember, they're all one-ups.
Okay.
Just birds and gifts are not. Everything else is. And it misses!
Heavy. No, it took the Faithless Looting here.
Takes Faithless Looting, so we see lands 2, 3, 4, Thing in the Ice, and Crackling Drake.
That's almost a curve. Oh, with the Faithless Looting, it is a curve.
Right. Okay, yeah, you have 2, 3, 4.
You got your 3, you got your 4.
The Nameless Inversion may be a bit awkward in this type of matchup. If he gets that engine online, is most of the deck cards out of Is It Phoenix are X4s.
Well, you get to cast Nameless Inversion twice.
Yeah.
It kills him. You're just building a Dismember.
You just keep going.
It's a 4-mana Dismember, but it didn't cost any cards, so it's fine.
Oh, that's nice. Mark's follow-up, Inquisition of Kozilek, takes Thing in the Ice.
Ruining the curve.
And third land, and he'll pass back.
Eternal Witness, white bordered card, something else in hand.
Okay.
You could not pay me to speculate on what else is in his hand.
Which of these cards could be white bordered? Let's see.
Do we have a dart? Do we have a dart that we can throw here?
He plays 1 Wrath of God. That's a card that's frequently. There are a lot of white bordered printings of that one.
That's true. That card has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 white border printings.
It's just core sets? Yeah, it was always just
white border printings.
Okay.
Oh, but it was in Beatdown?
It's in some some supplementals.
So 9.
I think it might be in a couple dual decks.
Those are black border.
Those are black bordered.
Listen, we kids get our reprints in black border.
You just white border them then. That's what I do with my cards.
Listen here, Pepperidge Farm.
Any card is a white border card if you wish hard enough.
Or use an eraser for several hours in a car.
Yeah, I can't believe who would do that.
Well, here we are on the SCG tour featuring Matthias Hunt, white borderer of cars in the back of cars.
We have Eternal Witness from Mark Larson going to grab back that Duress.
It's an interesting decision, but the Inquisition is less likely to hit than the Duress is here.
We go back to Skarren. Has not made a play yet. We do know there's a Crackling Drake hiding out. So far, Skarren, or Ingram rather, opting not to use that Faithless Looting until he finds something a bit more appealing.
Yeah, you need these lands in order to play the Crackling Drake, and you don't want to discard spells either. So until you've figured out what the heck's going on, you can probably just wait. You definitely know there's something weird happening in this Birds of Paradise Duress Eternal Witness deck. So Pete Ingram has asked for the Oracle text on Hakan Stromgald's Scourge. Maybe because he's seen it on the side tables as well. That's That's the single drawback of having a triple Hakon team.
Yeah, the third guy will know it's coming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's time for this. I'll go ahead and say this is a crackling drake. This one only crackles.
All right.
Give it a minute. Give it a minute. It never does this.
The storm will build up.
Just give it a minute.
It's got to warm up.
All right. Good. We have it on the screen now.
So, Hakon, you may play it, Hakon, from your graveyard, but not anywhere else. I like that it doesn't just say not from your hand. It's not from anywhere else. You can't cast it from your deck.
Oh,
you can't cast it from exile.
Oh, yeah. Hakon knows what he's about. And I can respect that.
A swing in from Eternal Witness 2-1. Pete not going to risk trading that with removal. He'll take the 2. I believe we have Iona in hand for Mark Larson.
Yeah, there's a Gifts Ungiven in here. Why would you not just have Unburial Rights and a couple of colossal game-ending things to put into
We have
play?
Eleshnorn, Iona, Hakon.
The Yuge. The Yuge. I can't imagine having this much fun in a Magic tournament.
Yeah. This just seems great.
It was a Wrath of God. You were right.
All right. See, I know it's white bordered. Up on the top table, Dan Jessup takes game 1.
How dare he?
Yeah.
How dare he? I think they've figured out they're the bad guys.
Nameless Inversion, Hakon, Iona, and Wrath of God in hand for Mark Larson.
We just get to see Larson react.
He's duressing himself. No,
he's
IOKing him. He's IOKing his own Hakon into the graveyard.
Strong.
Well, he has Nameless Inversion in hand. Hold on. This is quite good.
We got a reader.
Okay.
We got a reader.
Okay. Oh, this is so good.
So much that Oracle text.
One more land, and we have 2. Oh, I'm just so about this game right now. This is so good.
Whew. What a world. Can you believe we get to do this?
Okay. Now on Pete Ingram's side, he draws a 5th land, has Lightning Bolt, Arclight Phoenix. He may just try to stop all this nonsense before it starts.
I will be so cross with him if he does.
Just let the guy do his thing. Come on,
Yeah,
Pete.
come on. You know you're the baddies. Just give it up. It's not your fault, but it is what it is.
Arclight Phoenix and Crackling Drake swing in. The Drake crackling what looks like for 4. Or make that 5. Yeah, 2 Faithless Looting, a Gut Shot, Serum Visions, and Thought Scour. It's 5, total of 8 damage.
Might be seeing a Nameless Inversion on this Arclight Phoenix. Just gain a couple points of life, effectively.
That is going to be the play. Arclight Phoenix is in the graveyard. So, just 5 damage. Mark drops to 10. And he'll pass. That part, though, with the 2 damage, correction, Mark goes to 9. Looks like it's going to cost him here. As he misses the land drop, so he can't Wrath of God just yet.
This is rough. This is... Ooh,
yeah.
That's a Noble Hierarch. That's a combination with this Wrath of God.
It's a second white.
It both casts Wrath of God and embarrasses you for playing it.
Well, guess we have to cast the Hakon out of the graveyard.
Oh, we gotta. Do you register it not to cast it?
And Pete bolts it.
Man.
The rudest. Here is a flashback, a Faithless Looting. It looks like a pair of
a
lightning
bolt.
bolts.
That'll do.
Yeah, bolts bring the mark down to 6. Crackling Drake will swing in for the remaining points. Pete Ingram takes the win in game 1.
By the end of that was definitely a Thunder and Lightning Drake. Big.
Yeah.
Big.
What a storm. That Drake's just...
I'm going to run this joke into the ground, whether you're okay with it or not. Sideboards.
It's nice. All right. Well, I mean, who knows what's in the sideboard? I kind of am upset that the sideboard isn't 15 1-ofs. I'm going to be honest here.
Yeah, Mark's sideboard has more duplicates than his main deck.
That's true. He has 3 cards. All the ones in his sideboard, I do appreciate that none of these are cards that are in the main. They're just it is
clearly
10,
Clearly a man of taste.
Yeah.
I can't believe there isn't a customizable Unburial Rights target here.
Yeah,
I have a Gristlebrand or
it's 8 more 1-ofs.
maybe
Sun Titan.
Thragtusk could count.
Right? Do you think he's casting Sun Titan or unbarrel racing it? And Sun Titan gets Hakan out of the graveyard?
Do you think I know what goes on with this deck, Matthias? Do you think I have any idea what happens every game? No one does.
Well, he doesn't.
He's spinning the roulette, and you're asking me.
He plays a Birds of Paradise, and then he casts some cards. And sometimes they do things.
Technically.
It's a nice deck. All right.
This deck's sweet.
I'm assuming the way to sideboard on his side is of these, about 30 different 1-ofs. He's going to pick 8 of them to be in the sideboard. Probably the 8 that don't do as much.
This deck.
This is a deep analysis.
Of all the decks, sometimes when you want to conceal how you're sideboarding, you'll put all 15 in.
Oh, that would just confuse you.
Out. Oh, you're donezo.
Yeah.
You have to go to the judge's statement.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Per Mark Larson, we have him in our heads right now. It's Hoken is broken. And we have to call it that for the rest of the match. I don't.
Is that for all 3, or is that just the gift build?
I don't. Which one do you think's broken? Obviously the gifts
all
build.
of them? This one's extra broken.
Oh yeah, this one is. Something has come loose.
So how do you play against it on Pete's side? When your opponent's playing Highlander Hoken, you almost want to ignore it, right?
Yeah, just be aggressive.
I don't know what you're doing. I'm going to... Anger of the Gods in theory is okay.
Maybe. I'm kind of looking at that. Maybe looking at Surgical. You could make a case for Ral. Is it Viceroy if you're trying to grind?
Are you just going to, out of frustration, just not sideboard?
Honestly...
I'm pretty into that line.
Yeah, if I were playing an aggro deck, there's a strong chance I check my deck for anything that is stone dead. But otherwise, I'm just trying to kill him. Let's be linear.
And Hakan is on the board. Over on the 3rd table, Jack Grannan takes game 1 over Frank Skarren.
What can we say? Hoken's broken.
But not that one. That one's just reasonable.
Hoken's just reasonable does not roll off the tongue, Matthias. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I think we can make it rhyme. That's called a slant rhyme.
What?
Yeah, look, it's poetry. It's poetry. Don't worry about it.
Only technically poetry. So, how do you... Is it Hoken is fine, Oken? Is that how you make it rhyme?
Yeah. Hoken is reasonable here.
Hoken is reasonably broken?
No, that's just actually a rhyme, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like most rhymes.
It's a really slanty rhyme. Don't worry about it.
Most rhymes are actually rhymes. That's how they work. That's why we use the word to describe it.
Once you've seen Nameless Inversion, Hakan, Stromgald, Scourge, do you want to have some graveyard hate? Surgical Extraction, Anger of the Gods? Maybe? Feels like there's something going on in the graveyard here.
If you see someone Inquisition themselves to put a card in the graveyard, you got to be thinking about Surgical.
There was an Iona in his hand, right? Okay, this is probably... I guess you should probably port it a Surgical.
Yeah, honestly, it couldn't hurt, really. Who knows? Maybe Mark doesn't even draw any of those cards this game.
Your opponent's either trying to reanimate it or is playing, Angel Ramp.
Oh, yeah. Who knows? Would you even be surprised in Ingram's seat if next game you just got Siege Rhino'd?
I'm not even sure there's not a Siege Rhino in there right now.
Oh, yeah.
I have the list, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was Siege Rhino.
Oh, yeah. Your opponent just straight up goes Bird into Mana Strider into Siege Rhino into Keranos. Why not?
So, in the month of January, our latest addition to the Creature Collection. Speaking of... I got nothing. It's a collection. Speaking of collecting things, you can collect things. You can collect this cat. Yeah, you thought the cat was gone. No, now from game night to the Creature Collection, it's available on playmat sleeves and player bundles.
He's fighting Hakon off in the background.
Oh wow,
he's doing a very good job.
You can find that and previous Creature Collections at StarCityGame.com/Creature Collection.
Doing his best. Has to get home and lay on some clean laundry,
Oh, they like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the quest. Collect the Dragon Balls? No, we just want to wash the Dragon Balls and lay on them.
Looks like a mulligan here on Pete's side as we get ready for the second game. And Birds of Paradise to start out again from Mark.
That is a nice Birds of Paradise.
believe 4th edition? Is that what we're looking at?
I don't believe that's a white border.
Well, 4th edition isn't white border. You're right.
I believe that is beta. It
could be Italian.
Non-English. Yeah.
Right. The early sets. I think the foreign 4th editions are black border.
You know what? This is obviously a man who cares about style points. I'm going to believe it's beta because that makes me happier. It's the reality I choose to live in. Oh, no. Is that a white border? Was I wrong?
Now it's unclear.
Oh, gosh. This bird is broken.
Birds is broken.
Birds are broken.
How do you feel about white bordered cards that I take a Sharpie to? Does that count?
Yeah.
Well, I like that. And everyone has had some. Yes, I can confirm this is a 4th edition Sharpie to Birds of Paradise.
More like a 4th edition gut-shotted Birds of Paradise.
Well, that is also true. Pete Ingram opted to gut shot.
I'm so ready for Pete Ingram against this Birds of Paradise Ewit deck to get Celestial purged and just kind of throw his hands up and go, yeah, I mean, I guess.
Why not?
Why wouldn't this just happen?
Raven's Crime from Mark Larson.
Serum Visions being the worst card in your opponent's hand is a little spooky.
Yeah, it's interesting why that would be the discard.
Classic overgrown.
Yeah, I was just saying into fountain, right.
Classic.
Pressure on Mark Larson. Dan Jessup gets the first match win, a 2-0 with Bant Spirits.
Boo. Boo.
The bad guys.
The
bad guys take a match.
It's not their fault. I like them, personally. I know them. But boo. I feel like the old woman in Princess Bride. Boo. Boo.
This game, however, is going decently for Mark.
It's true. Mark is not currently dying.
Yeah.
And that is a strict upgrade from what we just saw.
Here's Niles Spellbomb from Mark Larson. Leaves up the black mana.
Mark has kind of identified that he just needs to go long and it'll be fine.
I love watching these games. Mark's decks, he just kind of plays some cards and, what's going to happen next? Okay, Tomb into Fountain, Nile Spellbomb. Oh, hey, we have a black mana to leave up. This all seems reasonable.
I'm really excited because I feel like Mark has recaptured high school magic, where you go to the lunch table and you don't even know what your opponent's going to play. It's just kind of what they got out of some packs.
He's even got the 4th head cards with Sharpie on them. Because I know that was a thing in high school.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you think we can move the cameras under the cafeteria steps or something?
I have some lightning bolts that at one point I had red bordered with a Sharpie that I was told were not tournament legal.
Oh
I know.
Gosh.
Isn't that tragic?
Scum.
Yeah.
Scum. Who does that? Who looks at a kid and is like, well, we got to make sure this kid plays by the rules?
Like you weren't very good at sharpening them, so you bled through to the edges of the card and you marked them all.
Oh, my
I was
gosh.
like, yeah, and then I look at him like, yeah, that's 100% true. Can I play him anyway?
This is nice. Classic modern in-step fetch.
Yeah.
Get tapped shock. In-step fetch. Get a tapped shock.
Yeah, this is nice. He's got 2 black mana sources, so can go back to Raven's Criming if it gets to that.
Ingram's struggling to find a threat, and I have a hard time imagining that if Mark gets to play all the cards in his deck, that's good for Pete.
Yeah, this person who's playing 4-color nonsense, if you give them enough time, will probably do something that's hard to beat.
Is this only 4 colors?
Is there red?
Only 4 colors. There's no red. There's no red.
I'm a big fan of decks with terrible mana bases trying to do 100 things. Usually, red's the card that doesn't always make it into the deck.
I'm a little upset. What's the real cost here? I feel like you just should.
Ghost? I like that we found room for Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter and Kalatas here.
Do you not play that in your, I assume, what is a Life from Loam deck?
Is there a Loam?
Yeah.
Okay, oh yeah, there's a Raven's Crime. There's got to be a Loam.
Oh, do we have some Academy Ruins nonsense with it?
Look, you can't let anything stop the entire grind process, right? You have to be able to reset.
Academy Ruins. I was hoping we'd have some Crucible Academy Ruins.
Is there a Gaia's Blessing? Can we just start over if it gets to that point?
I hope not. We're going to die
How,
here.
how can we be the slowest? And Kalatas is going to get 2 cards from Ingram. It's Izzet Charm and Lightning Bolt to take care of the 3/4.
That card's horrifying. It's something that's really hard to find room for when you're building your own deck, but whenever your opponent plays one, you just kind of feel your stomach drop.
Now, Mark's having to deal with the fact right now this deck pulls in a lot of directions. Last 2 draws were Iona and Damnation. He does...
It happened.
It happened.
It happened.
Get out of there, Arclight Phoenix. Of course, we have Celestial Purge.
You know the worst for Pete is this happened and he's looking over at this Nile Spellbomb.
Yeah.
He's like, oh god, I gotta run another Arclight Phoenix into this.
It's a swing from a second Arclight Phoenix. There's a removal spell of... There's some sort
Murderous
of delve
Cut.
card. Is it cut?
It is Murderous Cut.
That
Look,
plus Nile
Murderous Cut's the
Spellbomb?
card that didn't quite fit in the spell section of
Oh,
the deck
okay,
list.
yeah. I see it there.
Always been a Murderous Cut fan. Do you think he has Dark
card's
Confidant to combo with it?
That's a lot of damage. Murderous Cut, delving 1 to take care of the Arclight Phoenix, leaves up a land here, and now Crackling Drake.
Ooh.
The issue with Crackling Drake is that Nile Spellbomb doesn't actually shut it down.
Is that an issue with Crackling Drake or a good thing?
No, an
about
issue for
Crackling
Mark
Drake?
with Crackling Drake
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
he can't turn this one off.
Yeah, I think that's what they call a feature, not a bug.
Now he does still have that Damnation left, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. There's
fine.
more removal in the wings. Eventually, Mark is going to do something.
Yeah. This sure is a weird Obzon deck. Just, it's playing the all removal spell game.
Breeding Pool, of course.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. We haven't gotten that one yet.
Kalitas staple.
Look,
Breeding
there are,
Pool.
in our 4-card deck, there are 6 different Shocklands we can play. So we only have 4 of them.
I'm surprised
We
don't
got
have,
3 more to go.
Why don't we
2 more
just
to
have
go.
the 7th for the hay of it? We do have 1 of all 6 and 4 basics.
One of each. So it's just because it's Highlander, right?
Oh yeah. This is. I swear, I feel like I'm reading binary code. It's like 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. I'm waiting.
There aren't
for
even
the zero.
zeros.
There are zeros on the main deck and sideboard portion.
You just didn't fill them in.
It's complicated. It's complicated.
It's a big number in binary.
I wouldn't want something about the deck list to embarrass him, so let's not say that.
Damnation from Mark. Now, he doesn't have triple black, so he can't leave up the activation of Spellbomb, but he makes Noble Hierarch.
He can't leave up the trigger, but he can still Tormod's Crypt it.
Remember when I said he's either playing Reanimator or Angel Ramp? So we have this Iona in hand. And I'm just saying, we're kind of... there's a mana cost on it. That's a thing you can do.
So, I just feel like we're watching a car rev its engine slowly. You know, and you can hear the gears shift.
Yeah.
Every time the gear shift is a land drop. And eventually, we get to 7th gear and an Iona hits the table.
He's got a tough thing, right? So he either
Iona's
can
a
ramp.
9 drop.
She's 9. It's really not castable.
Good. No, she's a 7/7 that costs 9.
So you either can make your land drops to build up to 9, or you can discard lands to Raven's Crime.
We do have 10 colored sources.
Okay, and 3 of them are white? Right, because we have all 3 of the white shocks.
We have multiple white lands in our deck. Multiple.
We can cast this. Now, he might still get bounced by Thing in the Ice. But we got to start. First, we got to make the 9 drop.
Here's the best part about Iona. She later chump blocks Awoken Horror.
7/7, almost good.
Does not beat 7/8.
Not beat 7/8.
You could say creatures have gotten a little more powerful in the last 10 years.
This 9 drop does line up poorly against the opponent's 2 drop.
What a world. What a sentence. What a sentence.
Right, that used to be when you do something like play a 6 drop and then chump their Tarmogoyf with it. You'd be like, man, this is dumb.
I hate this. Creeping
Tar Pit, right, of
we
course.
have a kill con. We have
That's
a
land
kill
7. Here's Faithless Looting from Frank.
Uh-oh.
Thing in the Ice, trying to become Thing out of the Ice.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Discards Lightning Axe and a land. He's got Lightning Bolt in hand, and it looks like Surgical Extraction, so he can transform this and awake this horror if it comes to it.
I'm so used to seeing games go this long and just kind of thinking to myself, wow, I wonder if they sideboarded out Hakon or something. But there are so many one-ofs. Do you actually really know if he hasn't seen those cards yet? His deck doesn't have a ton of selection. So
Yeah, so here's the surgical.
Pete knows what's coming.
All right.
Can you look? You can see it on their face. What do you mean there's not another one?
Now he's showing it to his partner. Yeah. What do you mean? It's like, no, this guy's playing a different build of Hakan. That's what they just realized now. Look at Dan Jessup's face here, just looking as they go through the deck.
Oh, we're the bad guys. I see. Oh. Uh-oh.
This point, Pete looking at maybe just, bolt upstairs, transform.
There's a chance that Larson maybe should have cracked the bomb with the trigger on the stack.
Does he have removal that can kill an 0-4 but not a 7-8?
A fine question. A fine question. It doesn't actually appear so I guess this was fine.
He's going to crack Nile Spellbomb, exile away Pete's graveyard, draws a card. It looks to be a land. Going to 1.
Not 0.
One
Not
more
0.
draw is
Eternal Witness.
All right, that is a great draw here.
Eternal Witness, we take those. We take
those. Now there's still burn spells that can kill him from here. But this will keep him alive.
Never tell me the odds.
You know, he's either going to get another turn or he won't. That's what it feels like. Those are the odds.
Shot.
Yeah.
50-50 shot. It happens or it doesn't.
It's a land, but it's a fetch land.
We have a word for that in the business.
Yeah.
It's beats.
It's called not a land. Here's Eternal Witness. Is that another surgical?
Oh, another surgical, right. Yikes. Yikes.
So Eternal Witness won't get anything back. It can chump block.
There's a point here where Larson is likely interested in getting busy with this creeping tar pit. It's a little risky.
Yeah. Murderous Cut was the attempted play from Eternal Witness.
Wish we'd gotten frisky with the tar pit. That's how you win this game. You chump, and then maybe you chump again. But
white card drawn.
Was that timely reinforcements?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. A timely draw for Mark Larson. Goes back up to 7, gets 3 1-1s.
Tar pit beats. Tar pit beats.
Oh, I'm in.
Tar pit beats.
Absolutely. Huge draw. Keeps Mark Larson in the game.
It's a good thing he didn't. Here we go. Here we go.
And he passes. He's not interested in creeping tar pit attacks. That's a bit surprising to me.
He would be dead next turn if he just started going for it.
Here's another thing in the ice. Yeah, it looks like he's got his eyes set on this Iona. Maybe missing a line with creeping tar pit, but
thinking about if he
still
wanted
recover,
to fetch there, and I'm pretty sure he thought, no, I can't afford to thin those out of my deck. I need to draw lands here.
Right. He definitely is focused on that Iona play. Here is Knight of the Reliquary.
Ooh, that is.
Well, that'll get him to 9.
That is a big girl. Whew.
Yeah, getting a count here. We'll do the same.
I believe that was 3. She is.
And now Tar Pit joins in. That's down to 6.
There we go. This Knight's almost bigger than Thing in the Ice. Awoken Horror, rather. Uh-oh.
4 mana is Crackling Drake. And remember, we have to look at that exile pile again because Crackling Drake counts exile.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is not good.
Well, Mark's untapping with Knight of the Reliquary. So now we got some more one-ofs to look at. We got, okay? Right? There might be some plays.
We can maybe eventually do Ooh, if we fetch up an Urborg, this Misty taps for mana.
Okay. I mean, we can't just ramp into the Iona, right?
We have 4, 8, 9. That is 9.
He'd have to fetch a basic with Misty Rainforest, tap it, sacrifice it to get a Plains for the 3rd white source, and then tap all the lands for Iona?
Yikes. Other option, if he really doesn't want to pay life, he can sack. He can Ghost Quarter himself, and get basic planes, and then float white, sack the new land for Urborg, and then tap the Misty Rainforest for black.
Right.
It is complex, and it's a lot of hoops to jump through to gain 1 life. But this line exists. Looks like a blue card is the other card.
Yeah, he has picked up a blue card for the turn. There aren't too many of those in his deck.
Teferi, Jace, Snapcaster.
I believe it's Snapcaster Mage.
Ooh. If he can Damnation, that'd be pretty big here.
Yeah, it's a shame that he would have to lose the Knight of the Reliquary, but with Iona in hand, that might just be worth it. It is Snapcaster Mage. It is 4 sacks a land, maybe going for 5. Does he have something bigger in the graveyard?
Interesting.
Something we might have forgotten about. Or is he just sacrificing a land to go and get that 3rd white source?
Just doing that before casting the Damnation.
Looks like that's the case.
Makes sense. A little bit of filtering.
So now he's on 8 lands. He'll lose the Knight of the Reliquary. He'll lose the team. He has triple white. He just needs 1 more land for Iona. Or just 2 hits with Creeping Tar Pit.
If he attacks with it...
Yeah, this is close. It looks like he's going to get this one.
I know. It does. This is real close when it looked real not close for a minute there.
Manamorphose from Pete is the draw. Gets him a second shot at a card. Top one is Thing in the Ice. Okay.
All right.
He's still on. He's still alive.
You know what this card doesn't do? Block.
It doesn't block. And then, transforming it in one go seems to be pretty hard. And Marsh Flats. So is it Creeping Tar Pit or Iona from Mark Larson? I think we're going to see Iona.
It's got to be Iona. I'm not positive which is the right play, but Iona's the play.
All right. And I think you'd name blue here because the only way you can transform Thing in the Ice would have to take blue cards, right?
Theoretically, you also could end up with a Manamorphose turn.
Okay, so is red safer?
That can end up being rough. The nice thing about naming red is it cuts off Ingram's chance at drawing blockers for Iona, which is lethal.
Okay, it cuts off
can't
all
draw
the
a Phoenix, can't draw a Crackling Drake. And Crackling Drake is one of the problem cards in this spot because it just cleanly trades with the Iona and gets Ingram up a card.
And there's the big drop. There's me made it to 9. Angel Ramp is successful.
I swear, we're over here, and I just heard like the thunk.
He's going to name red. 1 draw here for Pete. It's a red card. That's not castable.
Faithless Looting. Not great.
And he picks him up. Mark Larson keeps it alive. Taking game 2. Big hug there from Bill Comminos. They've got one on the board. Mark has to get a 3rd game.
Can we get people cheering on this? Do you think we can get some basketball chants or something going on?
Frank Skarren ties things up on the other matchup against Jack Grannan.
Oh, so many game 3s. And unfortunately, Hoken is broken and can't drop another game.
No, it cannot. But we'll go look back at the board. Now, Pete Ingram has this time actually seen the entire deck because he's surgical. So now he's going with Jessup, who saw the deck during the game, and together they're re-sideboarding this.
Yeah, you're probably going to be seeing some more, maybe Disdainful Stroke to answer these big, clunky spells that we saw.
Yeah.
Kalitas, Iona, Damnation. We saw some big
Even
things.
Murderous Cut, this is kind of a big stuff deck. Disdainful Stroke does look good now.
Yep. The hardest thing that is kind of hard, really difficult to evaluate if you want it or not, is Spell Pierce here. I would lean towards bringing it in, but Larson has so many lands and so many dorks and creatures that there's a high chance it just ends up not working out.
When your opponent is doing things like Eternal Witness, Knight of the Reliquary, Kalitas, I wouldn't want it. This is the problem of a deck of 31 ofs is, there's draws or Spell Pierce will be great, and it can also be terrible.
Yeah, it's really, they know as well as we do.
A card I'm interested in is that Ral Is It Viceroy, actually.
Yeah, I love it. It's very grindy. It lets Ingram actually do something against all of this spot removal. If he just had a Planeswalker ticking up and doing Planeswalker things that whole time, it would have been a very different game.
Well, right, this Hakan, any Highlander deck like this is just going to play out in a lot of ways like a mid-range deck. And the more mid-range this gets, Ral fits into that strategy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Larson is actually killing Ingram anytime quickly.
No, that he had made a 9-drop 7/7 that game.
I guess theoretically he can make a turn 4 Iona. That's the fastest he can do anything that might quote-unquote close the door.
And into 3 surgical extractions, I'm not even sure how much Mark goes for plays like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to drive home the point. Larson is not fast.
No, not at all. These black-green attrition decks take the game pretty late.
Creeping Tar Pit is a proper Planeswalker killer, though.
That card's nice.
That card is very good at really just giving Planeswalkers the business.
Game number 3 here, Ingram and Larson. Looks like keeps on both sides.
7s. You know what else is 2 7s? Iona's Power and Toughness.
Oh, wow. Just how timely.
It's all a conspiracy.
How about that timely reinforcements from last game?
Oh, hopefully there's a timely reinforcements this game.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. With all of Larson's shocklands, it's so easy to just put yourself like 1 point lower than the opponent and then shoot back up. Love it.
Larson does have that one of Celestial Purge in hand again. Now, he did start on Creeping Tar Pit, so who knows?
Planeswalker Killer. You will address it by its title. Excuse me, Mr. Planeswalker Killer, sir?
It has, yeah. Serum Visions for Pete. Tops a Lightning Axe. Oh, yeah, he is all about this mid-range lifestyle.
Oh.
Look at that.
So look at that Celestial Purge. You know
It's
what that's
nice.
going to do, don't you?
Exile
Whatever
a red card.
Whatever it wants. Or a black permanent. It's nice. It's versatile.
They have any of those?
No.
I don't think he has.
No,
okay.
not at all.
Yeah, no, you can exile Surgical Extraction. I'm pretty sure that works.
There's probably some way in Legacy to make it a permanent. I don't know.
I'm sure there's some card out there that's going to,
something that lets it become an artifact and then March of the Machines happens.
It involves liquimetal coating at some point.
Oh, yeah, naturally. And somehow it's correct to do it with some obscure 11-card commander combo.
I like those sorts of things. You just go to message boards about Magic, and then you start seeing these things.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice.
There's a whole thing on Reddit about unplayable Magic combos, and you should see how deep and frivolous some of the cards are.
First play might just be an Arclight Phoenix or Drake from Ingram. Both are available. We'll see what she goes toward first. It's Arclight Phoenix. That looks like a nice target for a Celestial Purge.
My grandma, what an exiled Phoenix you have.
Boom. Gifts Ungiven in Mark Larson's hand as well.
And you know what else? Nameless Inversion.
So it is. I don't... That's a rough one in this matchup.
Hey, that card is going to take away that Drake's creature type. It will be crackling nothing. It will be crackling
It's
noun.
like lightning without any clouds.
Crackling noun. Crackling nondescript force of nature. If the second Nameless Inversion doesn't work out either, that's real painful.
Let's go back over to Pete's side. So looks like he'll start with Thought Scour.
Uh-oh. Hitting that Arclight Phoenix is real nice here.
Yeah. Which he did. That's one spell this turn. Drew Izzet Charm off the Thought Scour. Think he'll be able to get to 3 spells. That seems likely.
Yeah, it doesn't seem... I mean, there's a Manamorphose hiding out in there, and Manamorphose is basically 3 spells in a can. You never know how it's going to happen, but it always does.
So here's the issue, but there's no Surgical in his hand, and there's a Gifts Ungiven in Mark's. And this could all go wrong.
In the words of Lady Gaga, I love it. I love it.
Frank goes Manamorphose or Spell 2. No, he actually does have Is It Charm. So he has a counter spell for Gifts Ungiven.
Oh,
Potentially.
He hits
the other Manamorphose.
Wow. That's so strong here because this lets Pete just... Oh,
and draws into Surgical. A huge turn for Pete.
Can you believe Lady Luck is being such a bad guy right now?
He had Gifts Ungiven covered. Didn't have it covered to start the turn. Now has it covered a couple different ways.
Oh, yeah. This is
nice.
nonsense. This is wild.
So that Manamorphose card again.
Mark,
gosh darn it.
Yeah, very fair. Just makes the format better.
Gifts Ungiven attempted, and Pete fast with the counter spell for it.
And poor Mark could have cast a Nile Spellbomb last turn and didn't, so he could set up this Gifts Ungiven.
Well, he still will have some play, right? He does have Nameless Inversion and Nile Spellbomb, so he can permanently get rid of this Arclight Phoenix.
Right. It's just, the alternative is he just would still have a free Nameless Inversion, you know?
Yeah, an unfortunate setup there is going to hurt Mark.
Bright side.
We got some timely reinforcements.
It looks like he's called for reinforcements.
All right. They shall come. The reinforcements shall come, and they will bring aid with them, bearing 6 life points.
3 Aaron Bariches. Big Aaron Barich fan.
Each of them come from a Kabira crossroads. Together they gain him 6 life.
With their powers combined.
Mark shocks down to 19 for Godless Shrine. And he'll go down to 16 again off Arclight Phoenix. And then now here is Crackling Drake from Ingram. Draws him a card. And passes right in hand. Looks like 2 Lightning Axe and 1 other. We will namelessly... That's Murderous Cut on the Crackling Drake.
Having a hard time deciding what exactly to exile here.
I just love the style stack. First you got to kill their things, then you got to exile the yard because you want them gone.
Oh yeah, it's about sending a message.
It's about look. I want to get to the point where you go after the lands next too. Just get it all. All of it needs to be in exile.
And to think you were complaining about all the Grixis prison decks earlier.
I like to just clean things up. You know, you just all the cards, just get them into exile.
Matthias, buddy, are you okay? Do you need to talk to someone? I'm here.
This is nice.
I'm here
Here's
all
Birds
weekend.
of Paradise.
I'm here for you.
So now he's got 1 Crusade. So Nile Spellbomb's in play. Look, it's going to be so tidy in just a second. The last card's the Nameless Inversion. Takes care of Arclight Phoenix. Beautiful.
Delicious.
Everything's in the graveyard, and it's just going to be tucked away.
There's a point where maybe Mark wanted to consider cracking Nile Spellbombs still inside of combat in case Pete had another one in his hand.
Sure. Now, one thing Pete does have is that sideboard Ral Is It Viceroy, and this is the kind of board that we were saying it was going to be so good on.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's actually a little bit awkward because we have Mr. Planeswalker Killer there in the back, and we have 3 Planeswalker Killers up front as well.
We do.
And a Planeswalker kind of looking to get killed.
Well, except that Planeswalker in that +1 on the turn found a Lightning Bolt.
Yikes.
He activates Tarp, but he's going to go for the Ral, but Bolt is going to take care of it. So a swing of 6 at Ral, and there's plenty of answers. Bolt and 2 Lightning Axes, but Pete will use Lightning Bolt on the Creeping Tarpit.
It feels horrendous on Mark's side, but you kind of got to go for it, right?
Yeah.
Pete's not just going to jam it and not have an answer to save it. He's no slouch, right? He's not just discarding Planeswalkers for nothing.
I mean, your other option is to not attack it. That seems worse.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. You kind of just got to make them do it, go through the motions a little bit.
I mean, you could just send the tokens if you just had the read, but where does that even get you?
Yeah, you're not actually doing anything in that case. Putting Ral down to 4, who cares, right? He just rolls up 1 every turn and
draws
even
cards.
If you eventually kill it that way, Pete draws 5 cards in the process. That's not worth it.
+1 from Ral, gut shot and land, gut shot into hand for Pete. Do you need to keep an eye on the clock as just under 6 minutes now in the round?
And if we run out of time, You'll actually see the team of Jessup, Ingram, Skarren take the whole match, as they only have one of their 3 matches completed at the moment.
Right. If neither of these finishes, it is most match wins.
Exactly. Things are looking pretty rough for Larson here, with Pete just having a Planeswalker and a wall of removal.
Yeah, the Planeswalker's done a lot of damage on this board.
Exactly.
Land number 6, the draw for Mark.
7th mana with that bird. We basically can just cast Iona at this point.
We're like 2 away.
Listen, you were right.
And Pete using some gut shots to take care of some tokens.
How good would Elishanorn be?
And again, we see Surgical Extraction countering Eternal Witness.
Seeing this happen 2 games in a row is rough. It is just rough.
Yeah. You know, in a sense here, Eternal Witness is still getting a card, but this isn't the card you wanted. Right?
Yeah, and it looks like what Larson's considering here is he could just Spellbomb himself to make sure those gifts stay in his deck.
Okay.
But when you see Ingram with all these Arclight Phoenixes, with these Faithless Lootings, what do you... No, you can't do that.
I don't think you can
It's not
spend
realistic.
it that way. It's too valuable of a card to use in that way.
You're right.
Surgical Extraction was the play. But now there's 3 power of creatures against the Ral. In theory, you can start making progress on it.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Planeswalker killer left the building.
Yeah.
It's very bad when there's a
It was
Planeswalker
basically
you
killed
wanna
by the Planeswalker.
Listen.
I don't know how that works.
Keep that to yourself. Mr. Planeswalker Killer does not appreciate it.
Right. Thing in the Ice was the find off from Ral this turn.
The issue here is Pete has just found so much gas off this Ral.
Yeah,
It's seriously... Ral's taken, what, 6 damage or something at this point and started at 5? So it's drawn him 5 cards or something?
Faithless Looting flashback brings Thing in the Ice, thaws it down to 3 counters.
And it's not even just random cards. It's a sleight of hand every turn.
Yeah. They're good cards.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, Pete's definitely got to be feeling somewhat in control of this game, even if it's a little bit cluttered, and he's starting to kind of get to that territory of, all right, I feel like I've won this game. How do I just make sure that I don't lose this game?
Second Thing in the Ice from Pete. Looks like Assassin's Trophy.
Unfortunately, Plains Island is what is available when he draws the Assassin's Trophy.
All right. You know, I hate it when that happens.
Because, of course.
Polluted Delta appears to be the draw for the turn.
For a moment, that Polluted Delta looked like a Deceiver Exarch, and I just thought, you know, why not?
And Assassin's Trophy finally gives Larson an answer to Ral, but the damage has been done. It's possible, you look at the remaining cards in Ingram's hand of looks like just 2 instants, that a Damnation could clean up this board.
Damnation would do a lot here. And let's see, is there anything else? Maybe Engineered Explosives, something to that effect?
Let's see if Mark gets the chance. Pete attempting to transform this turn, leads on Manamorphose. I don't think he has it. He has Lightning Bolt. He was hoping to get a spell. He drew into Arclight Phoenix.
That's not
it's
bad.
Still good.
That's pressure. That's pressure.
Here's that swing for 3.
That also makes it so flipping the things is lethal. The Bolt would have kept it that way anyway, but now it's just Mark knows it. It's on the table. It's not even hidden information anymore.
2 cards from Larson with Pierce Polluted Delta. A lot of mana being tapped, maybe.
Verdict.
Liliana of the Veil.
Yikes.
That actually plays here, right? He'll plus it both players' discard. And Jack Grannan does win his match, so this now counts for everything.
Oh, gosh.
1 minute is the time on the clock.
My heart can't take this. A draw likely knocks them both out.
Right. It's possible. Yeah, I don't know the standings. I wouldn't be happy with a draw here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It definitely hurts your odds for top 8 and probably ends your tournament.
Here's Opt from Frank. Now the thing in the ices are going to start transforming. Draws off it. And I think, right, Bolt upstairs, Mark down to 10. That'll transform. He can pick up and recast Arclight Phoenix. That should just end things.
Yeah, this is probably going to do it here. That's going to have Mark down to 10, recast the Phoenix, and
swing
10.
for 10, and that is going to be lethal. Pete Ingram takes care of business. 2-1. He defeats Mark Larson and the team of Dan Jessup. Pete Ingram and Frank Skarren secure their spot into day 2. You know, in a matchup that